Hi, this is Bob Chow speaking from Ethereum Update. I just wanted to make another quick video about what I believe every cryptocurrency portfolio should have. And I know that you guys are from different financial backgrounds, and maybe some of you guys are in school and don't have a lot of discretionary income. Maybe you guys are supporting families and therefore can't have that much to invest. Maybe you guys are doing part-time work, or maybe work on a fixed wage and therefore can't find that much to invest. But I would encourage each and every one of you to try to strive towards having these kind of minimum requirements or basic requirements or must-haves in your cryptocurrency portfolio. One must-have, in my opinion, is having at least one single Bitcoin in your cryptocurrency portfolio. Have at least one Bitcoin. Now, of course, 2 or 3 or 10, that's way better, but make it a goal this year to reach at least one Bitcoin in your account or across your accounts. And the reason why I say that is because if in the future Bitcoin, let's say, goes to $1 million, which would be crazy, but let's say it does, and you were right about Bitcoin going to $1 million, then in my opinion, you gotta give yourself a chance at making $1 million, right? And you have to have one Bitcoin at $1 million in order to make $1 million. So I'm just saying you gotta give yourself a chance at making that $1 million if you're correct on the bet of Bitcoin going up in the future. I mean, let's say you didn't follow this advice, and let's just say you had maybe 1/10 of a Bitcoin, and Bitcoin goes to $1 million. Well, basically you made $100,000, which is great, but it's still not what I think you should have made, given the bet that you had made and given how correct of the bet that you made. So I'm just saying to you guys, get at least one Bitcoin, so if it does go to $1 million, you can make $1 million. Give yourself that chance of making $1 million. Let me think. One thought I used to have was this. I used to think that I was already way too late in the Bitcoin game, and I thought that everybody else had already amassed hundreds of Bitcoin in their own personal accounts from such a long time ago, and I'm just so late in this game that I shouldn't even try to buy one Bitcoin. But let me tell you this, if you look at the statistics of how many accounts own one Bitcoin, that number is only 3% of all accounts. Only 3% of all accounts, all cryptocurrency accounts, have one Bitcoin or more. So if you think about that, very few people even have one Bitcoin. If you buy one Bitcoin, you're probably in the top 10% of owners who have Bitcoin. So if let's say 3% of all accounts have maybe 0.5 Bitcoin or more, and let's say that each person has maybe on an average of 2 to 3 accounts, then only about at most 10% of current Bitcoin owners have at least one Bitcoin. So I would say this, that you buy one Bitcoin, be in the top 10% of all Bitcoin owners, and that's a great place to be. You just have to buy one Bitcoin to be in the top 10% of all Bitcoin owners. Think about that. So you're definitely not too late to get into the game. I would, of course, this is not financial advice, this is only educational advice, but I would encourage you guys to, buy at least one Bitcoin by the end of the year. That's my goal as well, okay? Buy one Bitcoin by the end of the year to have in your account, so that you have a chance of making that $1 million if Bitcoin does rise to that crazy $1 million valuation. Okay, what else? In addition to having one Bitcoin, I would also encourage you guys to have at least 10 Ether, 10 Ethereum, okay? 10 Ethereum allows you to participate in proof of stake earning in the future. So that's what I would say is what I would suggest as kind of the must-haves for any cryptocurrency portfolio. 1 Bitcoin and at least 10 Ether. You know, Ethereum being the second most promising cryptocurrency by market cap. So I would limit my must-haves to those 2 elements. At least 1 Bitcoin, at least 10 Ether. Now, I also like coins like Neo. I like Neo, which is the Ethereum of China. I love XRP as well, which is the cryptocurrency that banks are currently using. I also really like IOTA. There's a lot of other kind of altcoins that I like, but I hesitate to say that you should need to buy any of those in your must-have cryptocurrency portfolio, because I want to keep the must-have list to something that's very small and very fundamental. So I think I'll keep it as a must-have list of being 1 Bitcoin, 10 Ethereum, and then if you have additional funds after that, then yeah, get some IOTA, get some XRP, get some Neo, possibly Litecoin. But yeah, as I said, the must-have list just has 2 elements: 1 Bitcoin, 10 Ethereum, and we're gonna see if my prediction is right in the future. All right, guys. So please let me know if you guys agree or disagree. I know you guys might have different ideas of what a must-have, the must-have elements in a cryptocurrency are, but as I said, if you could boil it down to the most basic elements of what you think a cryptocurrency portfolio should have, I'd love to hear your opinions on that matter. If you found this video to be helpful, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share this video, please. Thank you so much. Bye.